Do you know what Watergwan is? It's where you can get news about the Jamaican culture and just learn about how Jamaicans are doing as a yard and abroad.
Salut tout le monde, ici Carrière La Flamme. T'aimes le reggae en français, en anglais, qui vient du Canada, du Québec et de la Jamaïque? Écoute Watergwan.
So rope in and come check out the thing now. It's Watergwan.
I live in the UK and I enjoy tuning in to Watergwan.
I am a big fan of Watergwan. I'm always looking forward for the great vibes, the great things. They discuss a lot of things that are going on in Calgary, across Canada, and of course Jamaica. So I encourage.
This is what is going on in Jamaica. But check out Watergwan.
Every Friday at 7 p.m. Calgary time.
You get to learn a new Jamaican patois word or even a Jamaican phrase.
I look forward to the patois word of the day, feeding my nostalgic mood with flavor and spice. Only Jamaicans can do.
Watch Watergwan.
It happens every Friday at 7 p.m. So check them out. And bye from Toronto.
Watch Watergwan.
Yo, this is Keisha.
Watch Watergwan.
Relevant and entertaining, so keep up the good work.
Watch Watergwan.
Tune in, share, listen to Watergwan.
Big up yourself. Watergwan 2022. Bless you.
Watergwan. Yes, Watergwan.
Watch Watergwan.
Always say you know Wagwan in a yard. Check it out. 7 p.m. every Friday.
Hello, happy Friday. I don't know. I am so obsessed with our introduction. I just, you just want to move and Watergwan and check out Watergwan. I am just so happy you're here. It is my pleasure to be your host. I am from Montreal, Quebec, but we just got some news. I just got some news that Jamaica has actually just been issued the Tropical Depression number 9 continues to strengthen over Central Caribbean Sea while moving closer to Jamaica. So our thoughts and prayers are on our home, Jamaica. Please, if you're listening to us, watching us from Jamaica, chat with us. What are you doing to prepare? What's happening? How you feeling? How are you spending this Friday evening? Would love to hear from you because, again, Jamaica is home. And we know a lot of prayers are going up. And we're sending them also to Jamaica. But the show will go on with all of that and prayers going forward. Today's discussion is going to be exceptional. We'll be focusing on the topic of making Jamaica clean again with our invited guests, Siobhan Fuller and Gillian Heaven. It is going to be, I am very excited for it. I know I say this every week, but trust me, this week is going to be exceptional. So stay with us for this topic. It's going to be a very good reasoning. But before we go any further, the patois word of the day, haggish. Yeah. She aggishy. You can say huggish, but really and truly you must say aggish. Aggish. What does that mean? Use it in a sentence. Use it in a phrase. Aggish. Come on. I want to hear the comments, the chat. Let's get that conversation going. The patois word of the day is aggish. Yeah? Now, last week, I am still just bouncing off the walls from the good Dr. Karen Dunkley. She was our invited guest, and we spoke about education and its place in national development. We spoke about the importance of education with regard to how we are able to draw creativity, resilience, strength, culture, and national pride to progress our society towards a prosperous future. To quote the good Dr. Dunkley, education anchors Jamaica's national development. And she continues, when we look where we need to go in terms of innovation, research, technology, agriculture, so we can address food security issues. Education sits at the center. It has to anchor the society. Profound. There were so many powerful words of wisdom and takeaways during that reasoning. I encourage you to watch it on replay if you never did catch it. YouTube, there's lots of notes there. We want to thank Dr. Dunkley for joining us on the show to share her insights and her diligent work. And it's obvious her passion for education. So check it out. It was exceptional, exceptional. You know, we love to hear from you. We want to hear your comments, your feedback. And if you missed the episode or you want to hear it all over again on repeat, check us out on the replay. What a Gwaan YouTube channel, on our Facebook page. And we also have a website, whatagwaan.ca. But what is really going on across Canada? Let's look at the events nearest you. In Vancouver, it's happening tomorrow. Amexem Cultural Society is hosting Van City Roots and Culture Experience on Granville Island, an all-age-free event on Saturday, this Saturday, September 24th, from noon to 10 p.m. There'll be a kids zone, food, beer, garden, and live entertainment featuring some of the best seasoned and up-and-coming local, national, and international reggae artists. Something for everyone. Remember to save the date. It's tomorrow. Head down to Granville Island on the 24th. Check out the Granville Island website, granvilleisland.com events page for more information. And that is in Vancouver. Now, in Winnipeg, the Afro-Caribbean Association of Manitoba is hosting a fall dinner dance on Saturday, October 15th, located at 239 Watts Street, starting at 6:30 p.m., with a cocktail hour, followed by a seated dinner at 7 p.m. Ooh, sound fancy. The Honorable Aubrey Gordon, the Manitoba Minister of Health, will be the guest speaker for the event, and live entertainment by Clyde Herla and Paradise Band. Tickets at $40 for adults and $15 for children under the age of 12. Please note, tickets must be purchased before October 10 to reserve your seat. So hurry, get your ticket as soon as you can. For more details, contact their website at www.afrocaribbean.org or call them at 204-677-6919. And now, in Montreal, you are all invited to the Jamaica Association of Montreal's Heroes and Heroine Banquet on October 15th this year, 2022. It will be held at the Hotel Ruby Fou. Starting time 6 p.m. and tickets are 120 for members and 140 for non-members. Guest speaker will be the one and only Mr. Vassar George Olivier. For more information, call 514-737-8229. And now for Spot That Place. Now, this is where we show a picture of a place in Jamaica or Canada. You tell us the specific location. Tell us in the comments. What is that place? Now, the clues for the Spot the Place is it's located in Victoria, British Columbia. It's the first building that was built in 1859. It is an unmistakable feature in Victoria cityscape, and it is located on the traditional territories of the Lekwungen people. Spot the place. Come on, put it in the comments. And we want to hear from you. Where is this place? An unmistakable feature in Victoria's cityscape. I know you know it. Tell us in the comments. And now, my friends, the reason we're all here, time to reason with my good friend Donovan. I'm always dancing to every music we have here.
What's up, Shelly? Yeah, right.
They live a good life because me not aggish.
Is that be of aggish?
No, cause me never aggish ever.
Me is the queen. I left nothing for you because you're too aggish.
That's why me not be in the area because me didn't wait for the little diamond them, but
is it the queen? I left nothing for you.
Sherlock.
Anyway, so it go. But listen, this week we're gonna talk about Jamaica being clean and mess boy. Some rain I go fall now, you can imagine.
That's what me I said to that's immediately me think about the garbage in
some of the gully them.
Yeah.
But I go clean up some of the road them too. And slow down a few of the movement. But
it causes problem. So it's an excellent topic for today.
All right.
We're praying, but there's things that we can do.
Well, they have a reason then, and see what I go on, and then we'll talk a little more, all right?
Excellent.
All right, folks, welcome. Greetings as always. Welcome to our Time to Reason here on Gwaan. My name is Donovan, and today it's going to be another interesting discussion about things happening in Jamaica. And I have in the studio ready to join me, Jillian Heaven, live from Jamaica. She can give us a little update as well on the weather. Jillian is an educator for many, many years, over 20. I was thinking, boy, I should start teach from she really, really young, like teenager, right? Somebody who is really family oriented and also focused on adding value to the lives of young people. She's a graduate of Alpha Academy, and she's really, really keen on sharing some of her information with us. Our other guest is the man called Biggs, Mr. Siobhan Fuller, out of St. Catherine, Jamaica, graduate of UTech, currently living in Canada. I moved here in 2018, but still very connected to the homeland. And both of them are here to share their views on how to make Jamaica clean again. Happy to get them on screen with us. Not Shelly. We're going to take on Siobhan instead. Jillian, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Siobhan.
How you doing?
Think you say you not drink on Friday, brother?
Well, this is Canada, and sometimes you need something to keep you warm. And I was told that it's one of those kind of conversations. I'm just having one, sir. How are you doing, man?
Yes, yeah, clean up before we start. Huh?
Yes.
All right, I hear you. All right, Jillian, before we get into the discussion, because there's a tropical storm that has the potential of being a hurricane, and because it's the first real major one for the season, you have to give us a quick meteorological update as to what's happening.
Well, I hope it's meteorological. You're even tying up my tongue. I hope it's immediate commentary that I can give you. But I heard that, within 24 hours, we should be feeling the effects of it. So okay. I have seen the traffic from today. I've seen a number of persons shopping and shopping and shopping. But I think we're getting ready to meet the storm, although we're hoping for a shift nonetheless.
Well, I hope for a shift because the discussion talks about getting Jamaica clean again. And usually when it rains, it has a way of going the opposite way and showing off some of the things that are not clean. So let us start the discussion with maybe a description from both of you on how would you describe how Jamaicans approach this concept of having a clean environment. Jillian, let's start with you.
Well, I believe for the most part, the average Jamaican believes in having a clean environment. But you know what the irony is? We believe in cleaning our homes, we believe in cleaning our properties, what belongs to us. And sometimes there's a contrast when we go outside. For example, so I'm a clean person, but I'm having a biscuit, I'm having a juice, and I don't want to have the garbage in my car. So I may look left, I may look right, and I may toss it through the
Yeah.
window. But yet I say I have civic pride. But you have persons who are principled nonetheless. So they take care of their immediate environment and also external environment.
Yeah. Siobhan, you have in recent times lived in Canada, but you still, what's your take on the Jamaicans being clean and managing the environment around?
You know, environmental management is different in Jamaica and Canada. I will say that environmental management is a societal and a governmental effort in Canada. In Jamaica, there is not a strong force pushing good environmental practices. Growing up, the little song bits of papers lying on the floor.
Yeah.
And when you're an adult, there's nothing else to reinforce that. There's no benefit to practicing recycling and reusing. And so therefore, there's not an industry or a machine behind keeping a clean environment, so to speak. So therefore, Jamaica has to now put in policies, that will help the society see the importance and have proper enforcement as well. So therefore, you can't leave it up to the people alone. You have to. I believe that it should be a joint effort, and so that's why Jamaica is not where it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus Canada, where you get. I'm sure I just check an email. I getting a check on the 10th of October for carbon tax and this that. You know what I mean? So it's a whole different environment. But we'll get into it as we continue the conversation.
Well, we soon get into that. You talk about bits of paper, and Gillian is an educator. And we teach some of these things way back when. Has some of those things changed in terms of the things that are taught in the schools, basic school?
We continue to teach those things. For example, what came to me today is that you will go to a classroom and you will see an orange juice box on the floor, a biscuit paper, and you'll say to the students, let us clean up. The first thing they will tell you, Miss, I wasn't the one who placed it there. How do you get them to clean up? So if I say, take up a paper, you know what they'll say, Miss, I'm going to help you. So they're seeing it as my environment, not our environment. So we try to enforce, cleanliness, hygiene, civic pride. Some persons will embrace it, but it happens over time. It's something that you have to reinforce in the curriculum, and you do it also, informally. So it's an ongoing process.
There is investment in presenting some of the bright parts. I'm going to bring up a couple of images here. The other day, there's, some furore about a sign that was put up in the grill, right? Let me see if I can get it on screen here. Beautiful, isn't it? Right? And there are a number of spaces and spots in Jamaica that look like this. There is, the beaches, and some of them are fantastic. But the reality is that it isn't always like this. So, Siobhan, why is it, based on what Gillian is saying, that message doesn't seem to stick, right? And when we spread it out wider, it seems to even get worse, because I'll show a few other pictures, especially now that the rain is going to fall. Why it not sticking?
I'll be honest with you. And I'm going to tie in both Jamaica and Canada. When I came to Canada, the first thing that hit me was the cleanliness of the place, right? I remember one day I was on the train and I had a Tim Hortons coffee in my hand, and I was done with the cup. And there was an area for recycling, and there's an area for garbage disposal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I'll go back to it again, there's no infrastructure. There's a lack of infrastructure. right? And you will hear me say this over and over again because I still am an environmental consultant in Jamaica. So I can tell you that there's the regulations and laws basically are null and void. They don't exist. And I'll go further. If you look at companies within Canada, you have companies that have environmental initiatives. You have ecocide systems. They're purchasing eco-friendly equipment, that kind of stuff. In Jamaica, your daily activity is based upon survival, right? So a lot of people are not thinking about, hey, listen, let us take care of the environment. They are more thinking about, listen, I need to survive for today.
Right.
You understand? So therefore, best use environmental practices is not at the forefront of the African mind. You understand? So there's a psychological aspect to it. There's a civic pride aspect to it. There's an infrastructure aspect to it. And there's also personal responsibility as a human being. Because I cannot see a clean environment and dispose of something in that environment, improperly. That's what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's several aspects to it. And I want to get into it so bad.
All right. I'm going to show a picture. I want you and Julian. Can you talk about infrastructure? Okay. This doesn't just happen by itself.
Right.
And even when the infrastructure seems to be in place, somehow we find a way to keep that going. That is the Sandy Gully. Major connector for moving stormwater and stuff. And I went to a little school called Calabar, close to that. And for as long as I can remember, and despite numerous projects every year, we seem to always get back to that. Gillian, why?
Wow. It has to do with who you are, your principles. Where you reside also determine how you behave sometimes. For example, you showed us the Sandy Gully. The houses are precariously perched. They're probably 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms. They do not have adequate space for dumping. Though their houses may be clean because those persons naturally would want a clean environment. They would probably want the garbage truck to be consistent, but it's not consistent. So the easiest way is to toss the things over the gully so that my little space is clean, but the gully is a dumping area. So it has to do with orientation. It has to do with their backgrounds. It has to do with who are the persons motivating them or who are the persons mentoring them to do better or shaping them or motivating them. So there are a lot of factors there.
Yeah. Siobhan, why the gullies can't see it? He's a Portmore man, right? And the Portmore people, Black Road and McNice, Mosquito, and all kinds of things come out of some of these practices. Why it can't stay clean?
All right. You said you're a Portmore man?
You.
Me? No, man. It's not Portmore. It's not Portmore, man. I come from the best place in Jamaica, St. Catherine, you know.
Hey, which
right?
part?
But there's a place named Linstead.
All right, go ahead.
Linstead, St. Catherine. And then
all right. Why Linstead Market can't clean?
Okay, well, hold on. Listen now. Gillian touched a very important point. You see, tradition goes hand in hand with our practices.
Yeah.
I want to understand what I'm saying. I know that's where my mother used to just throw her garbage. Because somebody come pick it up. So I throw it there. That is what I know. I say, try. Right? I think that, for example, the Linstead market. I've seen where the powers that be have gone ahead and tried to put the people on the inside of the market and
year after year after year, brother.
Year after year, right? But I'll say this: wherever a river, you know how water go. Once water taking that channel, it's going to continue down that path, right? So we are now first as a society to see how can we change this. if we educate our people, if we train the mind and create a new mindset, that's the only way it's possible. That it start with the generation to come. Because when the tree old, you can't bend it anymore. So the younger generation now, you start to implement things. You must learn. The younger generation learn through technology. And they learn through signs, symbols, like everything. Create a reward system for them to actually want to learn how to dispose of their garbage properly. Do projects in schools in the area. There's a school, there's Dental Technical where I went to that school as well. There's St. Diego, there's Charlemont, there's Magrat. Do some projects. Have the students from out of the schools. You're teaching geography, but you're not teaching about protecting the environment. So have these geography students, have these technical drawing students come together, have these English students come together, do up a proposal and see how they can better and implement instant market. Listen to me now again. When you're a parent and you see your child saying to your mommy, you know that what you're doing is not right, it hits a different spot. Because now the child is teaching. So we have to know, we have to, as a nation, change the mindset of the child so they can help with the actions of today and tomorrow. That's the only way it's possible. The instant market is always going to be dirty unless we clean it up. You understand?
Yeah. So, but all right. So let me ask you a question because I'm going to show another picture here.
So no Portmore, just to clarify.
No Portmore. All right, cool. This is a picture taken on National Coastal Cleanup Day, which seems to happen every year, right? All over Jamaica, and beaches and places on the shore are cleaned. Guess what happened? Every year we go through the same cycle, right? Because every year tons and tons of waste is collected from the coast. So government have program, and Julian, I'm going to bring you in on this because Siobhan is saying, boy, teach the children to teach the parents. Is that a practical solution when every year we go through the same cycle with all these different projects? What's your take?
I agree with him. You have to allow the students to teach their parents. But however, he spoke about an integral part. Jamaicans are driven by money. They love incentives. So he spoke about collaborations, among the schools, the technical drawing area, the social studies. But you would also have to incentivize parents, right? Most of them will tell you about the slogan, cleanliness is next to godliness, and they know it and they say it and they tell the children, but it becomes a flip side when they're supposed to live it. So it's something that we have to continue to reinforce. We also have to say to the parents, I'm sure you showed the Sandy Gully Bridge a while ago, and you said it's consistently polluted. But if every 3 months you say to them, we're going to give you an incentive for keeping this gully clean, and you set a target, if the money suits them, along with educating them, but you have to match it with something. It's survival, as Siobhan said. So you match it with some incentive, you have some competitions, you build the community spirit, and I think it will change over time.
But we have been trying it for years. So let's talk a little bit about corporate Jamaica then, because the government don't have the money. So let's acknowledge that the government doesn't have the money. So is this a corporate Jamaica solution?
Why do you think the government doesn't have the money? I think they have the money, but it's how they allocate the funds and to what they allocate the funds to. Right? So I'm not saying we don't have the money. We do have the funds, but how are we going to allocate it to ensure that these places are kept clean? Firstly, we have a garbage problem in Jamaica. They tell you how many trucks are coming, and they're coming by next year. They know how many trucks we need. The irony of the situation is that they ordered some small trucks that cannot cover the range that needs to be covered. So we need to have persons who are focus driven, right? We need to have persons who are visionary, right? Who really love Jamaica and to say that we want to see a change in Jamaica. So we do have the money, but where will we allocate these funds? Incentive programs. Jamaicans love incentives. If the party cleaning up the place and they give them X amount. Once is the party, they're going to come out because I'm going to come out in my specific club to show that I'm affiliated with X. But after I pick up the bottles, after they give me some food, they have to give me something to put in my pocket. So we have to change that orientation, but we also have to incentivize them. So we meet them at their greatest needs, and then we try to change the mindset.
So let me ask you a question, because I'm still back to some of these private events and all of these things that happen. I went to a baseball game this week in the United States. There were about 25,000 people there, and when the game was done, I'm sure it took them about 10 minutes to clean up the park in terms of the garbage. Private event. Siobhan, like, I'm just imagining champs or any of the big events are a big party. And when it's done, is that a government thing to clean up this place? Not to mention the amount of garbage we generate.
Let me just backtrack a little bit on what Gillian said. You know, we're talking about the corporate aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you two aspects of it, two sides to the story. We're looking at cleaning up versus preventing.
Okay.
When you're looking at environmental performance of a society or a nation or an organization, you must look at it from a sustainable development perspective. For example, you have a contractor and you're paying, let's say you pay him $120 million to clean the drain, right? You can spend a quarter of that preventing the $120 million or $140 million mess.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So practicing a futuristic approach to environmental management is also key. I want to say there are a few companies, construction companies, namely that I personally know and work with and maintain contracts with, and I know that these companies take social responsibility, they take environmental responsibility. Astron Building Systems, Kinetic Solutions, Dwight's Construction, M&M, to name a few, right? Now, you must put it as a corporate entity, it must be a part of your budget. As Gillian said, Jamaicans think about the dollar value. As an environmental consultant, I've struggled with companies where they don't want to put this in place, they don't want to put that in place until they get a fine, or until I say, listen, you know, there's a $20 million fine for that, then they say, okay, let's put that into place. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah. So what you're saying, though, Siobhan, is that there is a certain degree of nonchalance. So is it a lack of either legislation or implementation of the penalties?
Okay, let me explain again. You know, when the Ministry of Labor and the authorities, the powers that be, they are limited within their reach. They're gonna send you a safety and environmental officer to inspect your organization. When that officer comes there, the onus is on him to make a decision. They're not even educated enough to do a proper environmental audit. And I'm telling you from experience, when they come to your site or to your organization, they come and they point out everything that is wrong. That's not how you audit an organization. Your role as an environmental auditor is to find areas of improvement. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So our approach has to be revamped 360 degrees. We must look into how can I, as a person, how can I as an individual, how can I as an employee, how can I as a father impact my environment as it relates to cleanliness? There's a principle called 3 R's: recycle, reuse, and I'm on the app. It's Friday, so you know I'm having a little bit. What's called recycling, reuse, and
I don't know about it. Yeah.
But the emphasis is that we must find creative ways. And okay, look at this point. We must find creative ways to reuse our resources. In Jamaica, how many cars you see on the side of the road but burn out?
Well, I'm not car alone. You have car and fridge and garbage can and everything burn out.
That's why I make this point now. They have a scrap iron industry, right?
Yeah.
And the scrap iron industry is not properly regulated. And this is just, I am speaking facts now. When you look at people who are in the scrap iron industry, people look at them as thugs. We need to put an industry, a machinery behind environmental best use practices. We must invest time, education, and money.
All right.
How you going to get results from somebody who don't know better?
True. Let me bring Gillian in this.
Approach to it, as Gillian said, Jamaicans love money.
Yeah, but we can't just be money. So Gillian, all right, hold on. Let me ask you a question. How does that then apply in a community? Because, you know, it starts at the home and then it spreads out into the community. How would we apply that? And where does community leadership play into all of this?
That's a very good question, and I welcome that question. Firstly, the community has to have associations. So you want to have a community association. Those persons, you know, who have leadership capacities, those are the persons who would be on the forefront, you know, encouraging the persons to follow best practices, you know, with looking at other communities that are clean. You want to also do your mentorship, as I spoke about before. So the community is integral in shaping the minds of the people and also changing their belief system. So for example, the first thing you do is to try to elicit all those persons who have the skill sets. So Siobhan spoke about the persons who probably know about the environment, the persons who have the geographical skills, the persons who even are good secretaries to take the notes. So we're pooling our skill sets. And based on that, now we form our association. We have our community cleanup day, not just Labor Day and, you know, certain holidays that will come out. So we have it on, let's say, every 2 weeks. We will look at our signage, how appealing that is, because if you have a signage that appeals to the persons, for the most part, the persons who live in the community will not be motivated to have the community destroyed in any way. So it's just collaboration and building community spirit.
But when we put up a sign, like I am interested to see that Negril sign 2 years from now or 3 years from now, right? Do people take pride in these things? Do people take pride in having a clean community? And that's a question for both of you. Is there enough pride?
Okay, go ahead, Siobhan.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think we do take pride in our communities, but as I said before, it's contrasting. So it needs to be consistent. I also want to look at the rural communities in relation to the urban communities. I have recognized that the persons who live in the country, every day they get up, they don't want to see a leaf or a paper in the yard or by the gates. And that is the tradition. So you find that persons who live in the rural setting or even in some inner city communities, they will clean up their spaces, but it has to be consistent. You have to have somebody, you know, who is motivating them, somebody who is saying, let us get this thing started. Let us change our perspective. So we do have civic pride, but it's just not consistent.
Siobhan, and I see Glenn making a note about it. I'm already defaced some of the Negril sign. What caused that? Where's the pride?
It's sad to say. This is a thing where this thing has brought, and I'll be honest with you, it has brought me almost tears when I see that there's not much pride in Jamaica anymore. You know, we there's a saying now where them say, fully done And no, this is serious.
I don't want you to take on the Prime Minister.
You never heard that one before?
Yeah, man. Me, the Prime Minister, me, I talk about fully dance.
Please let us not mention the Prime Minister on this forum, please. I have too much to say. But look now, and this is serious. When as a Jamaican, as a black man in a predominantly white society in Calgary, I'm a proud person. I'm a proud father. I'm a proud professional. And I'm still a proud Jamaican, but I'm not proud of where Jamaica is. You see, our mindset as a people has, the garbage is just pouring out. It's the garbage and the improper disposal of waste. It's just a reflection of what is happening in the minds of the people.
So all right. So between the two of us, how do we fix it? Because some people can't get it right, and some people seemingly can't get it right. A man drink a bubble, as they would call it. You know, I really think they should stop selling those things. But that's another story. And you walk in, I'm going to say almost any community in Jamaica, the amount of bubble bottle you can collect in half a mile, it's absolutely amazing. Right? Adult, child, middle age, everybody just drop the bottle. Despite opportunities to put it somewhere. And I think recycling is also available in some areas. Country and town. So Jillian, where do we start with this? How do we fix it? Is it
I think we have to look at the laws. We have to revisit the books. The fines are extremely low, right? So we have to have fines that will deter persons. Let's say probably at 200,000, let it sound big. So they know if they litter the community consistently, they will be charged X amount. I recall, I don't want to say the person's name, but somebody who was either a member of parliament or a political, she was affiliated with a specific party, and she littered a specific area. And she when I heard the fine, it was minimal. I can't recall, but I don't think it was $500. So we need to have fines which will deter the persons from continuously littering the environment. So we have to revisit the laws.
That's the first place.
And again, education. We can't stop in order to change the mindset. We have to just reinforce the values and principles.
Siobhan, you live in Calgary. What do you think? One of the things I'll tell you, and I've lived in Calgary for quite a little bit, and one of the things that I've always been impressed with was being a clean city. What makes it possible seemingly so easily in Calgary and not in Jamaica? And don't tell me it's because they have more trucks.
That is one aspect. More trucks is one aspect, The pride of the Calgarian populace. People take pride in keeping their environment clean. I'll go back to say some of it is, and this is where we have to draw a line. Some things are behavioral, but if you go to a recycling depot in Calgary, you will see, for want of a better term, a drug addict, or what would I call a crackhead. Am I lying?
Yeah, we have them.
And they're recycling, and they're collecting their money. I don't know what they're doing with their money. It's none of my business, but they're recycling. I am saying that when you have the proper infrastructure in place, even a crackhead can capitalize from recycling.
Right.
So therefore, that's why I said the trucks play an integral role. I can go as far as back to when I was a little boy. Not that I'm old, but when I was younger. You used to have a competition. The housing trust, National Housing Trust used to have a competition.
Yeah,
so you used to have like, my housing scheme, which is Charlie Mount, used to have like White House and a couple other housing schemes, Angels. I used to have a competition for the cleanest scheme.
Right, yeah, true.
Right now, those things are gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can make environmental practice fun. You can make it with rewards. And so therefore, until we implement these things, we have to bring back the things of the old, Bridget. We have to bring it back.
Yeah.
It was working.
So there was a time when it used to work.
Yes, man. Listen to me. Listen to me, man. There was a time, you see, when you cut your lawn and you trim up your shoe block, you know what name shoe block?
You mean?
Good. When you cut your lawn and you trim up your shoe block, Christmas time, you want your lawn. Listen, me, man. My father used to lie down for his belly with scissors and trim up the lawn. You understand me?
Yeah.
Because of the pride. When you step out as a man, we don't have that anymore. So I agree totally with Gillian. Look, the civic pride is not there. And it is a simple fact that it is just not there.
All right. Time is going, and I'm going to throw one more question out there. Can it be done? Can we get to a stage where we're a model? We're a model for lots of things across the world. Can we get back to a stage where Jamaica is a model for being clean, where we play, where we work, and where we live? Gillian.
I would embrace that. But the first thing, we have to have campaigns that are consistent. You have persons who are always cleaning up the beach areas, but they do it, let's say, once per year, twice per year. You have to have a team-oriented Jamaica. You have to have persons who love Jamaica so much that they really want to see this change. So as I said before, it's reorientation. We have to change our mindsets. Those who are highly principled, love Jamaica, and they keep their immediate environment clean, and also, external environments. Those are the persons who would want to carry the messages. We also have to have it in the media consistently. Sometimes we see these campaigns, but they're not attractive enough for us to stop to listen or look at them. So they have to be consistent, they have to be appealing, and you have to ensure that these things are done consistently. So you don't just do it Labor Day because perhaps you want something to be placed on your resume because you are part of this community. But Chevron spoke about the competitions. We have to go back there, and we also have to start in the schools from early childhood, teaching them how to keep their little area clean and how to motivate others to be clean. So education, consistent campaigns, and the campaigns have to be appealing and consistent.
Yeah. Siobhan, I'm going to get the last word. How do we get there? Can we get there?
Wishful thinking, my brother. Did you hear what I said? Wishful thinking. The only way to get there is to grab the bull by the horn. Policy, infrastructure, investment, reward, penalties, management, and maintenance. In a nutshell, what I'm saying is that the government has to see environmental performance as a holistic and a societal burden. We have to take it up as a nation. When you look at the beauty of Jamaica and that we're destroying it day by day, it says a lot. We must put in policies. We must enforce the policies, corporate policies, and even, okay. How many times have you gotten a ticket driving on the road? Many times I get ticket driving, right?
Where?
You know anyone that has ever gotten an environmental ticket?
I don't know none.
I rest my case, my brother. So until the powers that be start to focus on environmental aspect from a political, managerial angle, because it is a joke. It is literally a joke right now.
Yeah.
You know, and you cannot, the layman is up, worried about taking care of his family. He doesn't have the time right now to put environmental best use practice and even to sit down and listen to a forum. He is working. He is trying to survive.
Yeah.
He's trying to stay alive amidst the violence and the chaos that is going on. So we have to understand that there are several aspects that affect the environmental performance. And remember this, it is just a reflection of what is happening in the hearts and minds of Jamaicans. It is just simply a reflection.
You know what? That's where we're going to end it. As a reflection. Siobhan Fuller, Gillian Heaven, this was a great discussion. Thank you both for being a part of A Time to Reason here on Gwaan. I still love Jamaica. Stay well, Siobhan. Stay warm, and I hope the water don't come too hard tomorrow, right? But again, thank you both.
You're welcome, and I'm optimistic to see the change.
All right, cool. Shelly.
Listen to me. Somebody in the comments say, Amen, Siobhan. He's here.
But he made some good points, you know.
Excellent point.
Policy have to be, you know, managed. Like, you know, anybody who ever get a fine for environmental littering or anything like that?
No.
The reasoning, I never hear that yet.
No. And, you know, it's a funny, one of our commenters called the Roots Reggae Show on CFRO 100.5 FM Vancouver said, we need a ministry for that. Great.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Rocky. I hear your brethren. I don't know. We'll see. You know, but it's interesting. I'll tell you. I live in a community here in Calgary, and one winter, and it was really cold, and I didn't shovel my snow for a couple of days, or the sidewalk. And somebody reported it to the city. And the bylaw officer came by, and, you know, like I'm saying, like, listen, man, I clean up my place. I manage my responsibility. But somebody called it out.
Yeah.
Right? You know, there's a part of us that might say that, boy, them people are bad mind and whatever. But there is a certain amount of civic responsibility that is embraced. And people expect the others to play by those rules. And I think maybe that's one of the things that Siobhan is talking about, where if there's no enforcement, then you just do it.
And you nip it in the bud. I think that's one of the lessons I've learned about.
About grow big, you know?
Yeah. I've learned about living in Canada is that there's not a long period of something going bad. Immediately, people start to complain. You get your ticket, you get your fine, you get your write-up. So the consequences are swift.
Yeah, they're not just going to sit there and watch it happen.
Yeah.
Right? Forever. Right. Yeah. And I think that is one of the things that allows for. And the other thing I find is people practice what they see happening around them. Right? Because I've always questioned about how somebody leaves Jamaica where nothing for you just drop something on the road, you eat on patty and you just drop the paper or whatever. And you come to certain places and you watch how it happens around you and you don't do it. The very same thing that you would have done 2 days ago, right? You know, it's always amusing. Somebody dropped the thing right near to the garbage pan and you're like, what's the pan there? While you go to other places and you follow the practices that you see around you.
Yeah, right? You quickly learn what the different sign them mean. We mean paper, recycle, and garbage. Yeah.
You know, so CJ said, monkey see, monkey do. Right? So it's not an impossibility, right? The question is, I think it comes back down to, do we have the will as the leaders and as the people to make it happen? Because if we did really want it to happen, and that's my true belief, if we really wanted it to happen, it would have happened. And some of the nonsense would have stopped.
And C here is actually says, yes, the laws definitely need to be revamped. Jamaican people don't follow rules. The people who are supposed to enforce the laws are not even following the laws themselves. So much need to be done from the leadership level.
Yeah, man, because that's true. Like some of the things that you say happen and will happen over again. And that's the thing. That's what I keep saying. You know, I know the Sandy Gully, and every year you hear the same nonsense about clean up. As like a rain spit, the place flood. And nobody, and you spend millions of dollars, right, on fixing road and all the rest of it. And you say, but the thing flood because the gully block.
Yeah.
Right? And the gully block because people throw garbage in it. Right? Or mosquitoes start breed up because water cycle. And it's strange to me that the government and the powers that be, as Jeff Allen would say, keeps doing the same thing. Well, let's clean it up again.
Yeah.
You get like a ball of work, as they would call it. Right? And who Agish get more work than others.
Good one,
So
good one.
I don't know. Anyway, listen. Good reasoning.
Very good reasoning.
Lots of comments. We appreciate the comments, folks. So, but you know, the clock are ticking. We have to leave because we have other things to do. So, Shelly, take care. Here
next week.
All right, cool.
Again, love the comments. Prudence, I know you're always with us every week. I hear your government resources should be properly allocated and they should practice good environmental management. You are so right. Jamaica needs a lot of help, not you sees here in every area. And as those living in the diaspora, we also have a role to play. Excellent reasoning. Thank you so much for the comments. It was brilliant. But no, the patois word of the day. What was it? I think Prudence, Agish. Prudence, you gave us a sentence, and let me find out. Oh, Prudence, nicely, Betty. Lovely. Lad, them Agish, sir. Excellent. Aggressive, uncouth, Agish, them just rough, tough, piggish. Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Prudence. Right on the money. You won. Thank you so much for that comment. And spot the place. Prudence, you got it again. It's the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia. That's exactly what it is. Parliament House, Victoria. Excellent. Thank you so very much. I love it. This week was just exceptional. The comments, we really appreciate it. I like chatting with you, and I like hearing your thoughts. And there was also a comment, Prudence, praying for Jamaica. Definitely. Is home. And I'm confident. My mother is a praying woman in Linstead, St. Catherine. I know everything will be all right. Yeah. Next week, the reasoning, very dear to my heart. I am so excited for next week. Donovan will be reasoning with Paula DeRound and Eunice Graham on the topic of dealing with the aging process. I am always interested in discussions that engage our older adults and the challenges they face as they move towards the ultimate goal that each and everyone should have, which is successful aging. And successful aging is really how you envision yourself to be at 70, 80, 100, 120, and what steps you should take and can take right now to ensure that we have successful aging. So next week is going to be fantastic, dealing with the aging process, talking about older adults and the challenges. So it's going to be exceptional. Join us. I am excited. We are still looking for our marketing coordinator. We're looking for an experienced marketing coordinator and a content creator on a volunteer basis to join our Gwaan National team. This is a phenomenal opportunity to hone your communication, creative, and marketing skills, and to work and receive mentorship with a team of professionals located across Canada. Students are welcome. You must have experience working in marketing, social media space, have experience creating marketing social media campaigns, and must be familiar with the Jamaican Caribbean culture. Come on and be a part of a vibrant team of people who are all passionate about sharing all aspects of our Jamaican culture to the world. Send your resume to us via our social media accounts or simply to our email address, watagwancnd@gmail.com. Check us out on all our videos, Watagwan. Check us out our website, watagwan.ca. Send us an email, contact us on our social media. Spread the word about our program. We love to hear from you. And we all share a passion for yard, for Jamaica. And we have to contribute. It's just home. So again, my name is Shelly Morgan. Thank you so very much for joining us for another episode of Watagwan. Have a successful weekend. See you next week. Walk good.